Welcome to Matchday Live. Welcome to the Emirates Stadium. Sunday, 4:30, Arsenal versus Manchester City. FG Pitchside with a very special guest. And of course, the regular Manchester City legend, Michael Brown. And in the middle of us, Brownie, we've got a very special guest joining us from the world of YouTube, from the world of content creation. Mr. Luke Stanley, MCFC. Lads, how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. This year, we'll get onto it, wasn't the best trip here, but I'm excited for this one. I'm excited.
We will bring you that all-important team news very, very soon as you see the Manchester City players arriving at the Emirates Stadium. A massive, massive game for our City players and a 100th appearance for Josko Vardiol, who I can reveal is starting for Manchester City this afternoon. 100 games already, they've flown by.
I mean, I couldn't believe it when I heard it. I was like, 100 games, and now he's playing obviously at centre-back positions. We've seen him come into the left-back area. Full credit, how he's just slipped under the radar, scoring important goals. He's been a real value, hasn't he, to the squad now, to have that flexibility all around it. So, team news is it exciting, FG?
Team news is as you were. Let's bring you that Manchester City team news. It is unchanged for not one but two games in a row for Manchester City. The team that beat Napoli and of course Manchester United at the Emirates Stadium. In goal is Gigio Donnarumma, and then it is Kushanov, Ruben Diaz, Josko Vardiol, like we said, making that 100th appearance for Manchester City. And then it's Nico O'Reilly playing at left back. He seems to have made that position his. And then Rodri, the man who missed his fixture last year, starts for Manchester City today. And then our captain, Bernardo Silva, in midfield as well for Manchester City. And then it's the start for Tijani Reinders, our number 4. And then one of our own, number 47, Phil Foden, starts at the Emirates Stadium, as does Jeremy Doku, who's been in sensational form for Manchester City so far, and Erling Haaland, our number 9, who scored 50 UEFA Champions League goals in 49 games, which is an absolutely sensational stat. And I've just heard as well that it's potentially his worst start to a season in the Premier League, and he's still got a positive goal record.
I mean, it says a lot about him. He's a robot, isn't he, up front? We know what he can do with the goal scoring. He's fully fit, like Pep said. That's what we want. We want Haaland. You know, Arsenal, I think they'll be shaking a little bit at his start. 5 goals in 4 games, like you said. Unreal. And I think, today, I think he'll hopefully have another one up his sleeve. That's what we want to see.
Now, I mean, let's get a close-up on Mr. Michael Brown here, shall we, if we can? Because, Brownie, I mean, you look absolutely sensational. I saw the smile when I saw you straight away. Massive game. You're dressed for the occasion. You're wearing the blue. Who was your stylist, pal?
We pulled up in the car park together, didn't we? Everyone, all the media team were on different cars. It was all like changing rooms, wasn't it? We're all changing. Leave off me with it.
That was absolutely brilliant.
Panning out with the old suit on.
No, you're looking fantastic.
It's a nice day. The sun's out. You got a dress. Look, you're in all your Manchester City merchandise, your freebies.
Yeah, listen,
nice.
I mean, Manchester City, if you want to give us some more merchandise, we'll all take it. I mean,
look, the good news is we've got someone really on our hype platform.
Well,
look,
you know, I was just about to say this.
Shorter today.
Before we get into the show, we know Natalie's in the studio with Izzy as well. We'll get to them in a second.
They won't be laughing, will they?
She's probably already laughing at us.
Is it a birthday to celebrate as well?
There was a birthday yesterday.
Yeah,
Happy belated birthday, Izzy Christiansen. I'm sure we'll speak to you in a minute. Also, Manchester City legend's birthday today. Any ideas? He's there. He's everywhere.
Oh, he doesn't know this.
Richard Dunn.
Oh, Richard Dunn, yeah, I did see that.
Happy birthday to Richard Dunn as well.
Something like that.
I don't know his age, to be fair. But listen, I mean, how great is it for you to be here pitchside?
Yeah, it's unreal.
Take it in. The sprinklers are behind us. There's not too much going on. I mean, welcome to the show. But is this your first time on the show, pitchside?
I've been on Matchday Live, but not pitchside, so it's good to be here. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I think the question we all want to know, who's better, me or Brownie?
I think the colour of his mic is more on brand, so we'll go Brownie. That pink one with FG there again.
So he knows his stuff. Yeah. See, he's not presenting at this moment in time, so he's got to look after the guys.
My answer would have been Michael Brown.
He's got his eyes on you, though.
Yeah. Listen, Brownie, massive game here today. Big. I mean, 5-1 it was last year. It's been a lot of the talk in the build-up. It'll be a completely different game here today. I mean, Rodri, of course, wasn't playing. Ruben Diaz wasn't playing as well in that game last year. How do you see it going?
And Phil Foden, it's like a new player coming back, isn't it? I mean, what's fascinating with obviously the team choice, 3 in a row. I think it will be a tough ask because of Thursday, that's for certain. But Arsenal, they've got lots of threat. They'll have had obviously extra days in rest. Tactically, what Mikel Arteta can do, we know he can change things in game, as can Pep Guardiola. It's fascinating all around the pitch. You look at Eze, we look at Madueke. think they're the wide players against the two fullbacks is the main talking point, isn't it? With Cushionoff and Nico O'Reilly going to have to be really on the metal to really stay in their shape. So we can go on and on and on right around the pitch, but notably, as we'll discuss later on, you've got to walk off with the points, FG. So that's something we need, and we can't afford to lose this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's touch on them fullbacks with you as well, Luke, because Nico O'Reilly and Cushionov have been, they've been the fullbacks for the last two games. They've not conceded a goal. Also, that defensive unit looks a lot more solid. Donnarumma yet to concede a goal in the Manchester City shirt. Watching it from a fan's perspective, are you feeling a lot more confident with that? Defence and goalkeeper?
I think last season some of the problems did stem. Obviously, we had Rodri out for a long time, but also the fact that the back four was constantly changing. We had a lot of injuries, and what you want to see is like a consistent back four in front of a stable goalkeeper as well. We had Ortega and Edison swapping around with injuries and stuff as well. So it's good to see a consistent team, which is a team that is winning as well. So, hopefully today that can carry on. But I like Kuznov at right back. Obviously, naturally more of a centre-back option. Nico O'Reilly playing unbelievably at left back as well. And Gvardiol, who's played a lot of minutes at left back, is at centre back next to Diaz.
What's his best position then?
I think it's difficult to say, which probably shows how good of a player he is. Like you said, he's dynamic, so he can play left back, he can play centre back, and the fact that he's probably not had as many minutes at centre back as he could have, given it's his natural position. I think that shows how good he is. And 100 appearances in those 100 games, he's probably been up there as one of our best players.
100 games for Manchester City. I mean, we'll focus on Josko a little bit later on, but we have to focus on Ruben Diaz as well. A player who, surprisingly for me, Brownie, comes under criticism at times, but he's been fantastic, and he offers so much more. As well as being a great player, he's such a good leader and such a good organiser, and it's so important.
He's very vocal, isn't he? I think when you're in a back line that's struggling, you're going to be up for criticism. But I think because he plays all the games, he's generally available, he gets a little bit of it. But really, he's Mr. Consistent, steady, does exactly what needed. He's the one who can go and defend. If he's like next to a John Stones who can go and step in, he'll balance off, he can go tight, he can go aggressive. So he's got everything he wants. But also what he has is that ability to get after his teammates, to say, you get here, come here, not afraid to do that. And sometimes, like, how do you tell the bigger player to go and do that? The world superstar, he doesn't care about that. He just thinks, right, I'm going to see what's in front of me, and I'm not afraid to actually, go and take on the challenge. That's what I really like. And the front three today are going to be a challenge. And we're just waiting to find out 100% whether Saka comes back in. He's got Martinelli as well. I'll be surprised if we see much change. But you're going to have to organise, because they're going to move in and out. They're going to come off shoulders. They're going to come out. And the two youngsters, this is a really big test for them today because of that reason. Did they go tight? Did they not? Can they get in and make the extra one, which we've seen one of the fullbacks do that, whether it's Nico. But the one-on-one areas, Arsenal are going to go, OK, no problem, we're going to go and take the risk and push them forward. It's fascinating, today's game.
With that result last year as well, the 5-1, I mean, Bernardo Silva and Rodri were vocal in an interview about it. The players will be aware of it. Rodri, of course, wasn't involved last year, but being a leader in the dressing room, coming here back to a place where you've been beaten in previous years. I might ask you, Brownie, were you ever in a position where you'd lost heavily the season before and you'd come back to the stadium? What's your mentality shift like in situations like that?
It's psychologically tough because you're aware of the situation. I think we can talk about Anfield. It was for a while, and this is the most successful team, the one who won everything. We won a treble. There's one sort of place where they're looking and going, we know we're going to be in a game, we know it's going to be a struggle. So it happens to the top, to the best players, and I think it's only normal. I think we expect that. This great game, that's what it delivers. You can't just have it easy every single week, or it wouldn't be the sport we love. So I don't think they'll be afraid in any way, the team coming out. I think obviously getting some rhythm and some momentum. Manchester derby, still we need to be a little bit tighter. I think the Napoli game suited that last 30 minutes where you could sort of go, we can make a few changes. You knew straight away as well, I could just move it around. It wasn't like a chase game late on, and that's going to be a big help going into this game. But the intensity is going to be high from Arsenal.
Now, just over your shoulder, Brownie, is the away section, which Manchester City will, of course, be making a lot of noise from. You're going to be a part of that away section after your duties.
Behave, though. Don't get into trouble. We're going to pen in.
There you go. Uncle Brownie's already telling you.
I never got into trouble at football games. Never.
Exactly, yeah. Behave yourself. All right. Are you looking forward to it? I mean, it's been great travelling with Manchester City. Results, of course, the Brighton game was a difficult one. But one thing you always get from the fans behind us is vocal support and a lot of good fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the best away supports in the league, always loud. You see the same faces in there. It's always good to catch up with people that some of you don't even know the names. It's a weird dynamic. You see them every week. I've been seeing them every week since I was 6, 7. Some of them, you speak to them every week. You pretty much only common interest is City. And it's a community, so it's good to go in the away end. We'll be loud and proud. And
what will be the chat though? Do you know when you get in there? What is sort of the conversation? Are they looking for like the teams? Are they giving their opinions to fans when you're in there?
It's like, have you booked this game? Have you booked that game? How did you get here? What train were you on? What one you on back? It's all just stuff that doesn't really matter, but that's ultimately what's good about it.
I mean, I'll tell you what's good about this man as well, Brownie. These European away trips he goes on, you go via absolutely
few
unbelievable places to get the cheapest option. I've seen some of your shorts on your social medias. What is the cheapest option to the Emirates today? Because getting a train is very expensive.
Well, I can tell you that
skateboard is
you can. There's a few places you can change at. It makes it a bit longer, but if you're coming from Manchester, there are a few places you can change at that make it cheaper. If you go direct, you're looking at 100 quid. But yeah, enough talk about trains, I reckon. But in terms of this one, I did feel a bit nervous coming on the train. It is a big game, but ultimately it's a team in the last 12 years, played him 24 times in the league, and we've only lost 5. So as much as 2 of them were here in the last 2 visits, we've won 15 of them, we've drawn 5, we've lost 4.
This is real, see, he does his stats properly, right? He doesn't get given them in his
like
ear last second. Right?
He's like David
It's the
James.
new David James. J-Mo's here. I'm sat next to him in commentary today. J-Mo's working for somebody else. He's right next to me.
Right.
So he said he's going to feed the stats along the way. So if it gets any interruptions, we know what that is.
I
mean, for everybody who watches the broadcast, you'll know how good Michael Brown is on commentary. You've been doing a couple of games this weekend. You've seen a few goals. Yesterday you were at another game as well. How many goals are we going to see here today, Brownie?
Well, I had 4 yesterday at Brighton Spurs, so I'm hoping there's 5 or 6, because I would probably mention a 5-1 away. Is that ambitious?
I mean, that is slightly ambitious. We are actually in the corner here where Rodri celebrated at one point, which is quite an interesting place to be, considering how the fans reacted that day. I mean,
there's a few Arsenal fans all around us, isn't it, FG? Just behind the cameras and things like that. There's a few really close who are now going quite red and blushing. He just won there. So if the camera moves slightly, we've got to be careful. He's gone red, I can tell you that, studio. He's not best pleased behind there. He's going under.
You are an evil man, Brownie. We are in a great spot, though, here, and our players will be coming out to warm up behind us. Of course, Donnarumma will be in the goal behind us. We might get a few deflections, like saves from the goalkeeper towards you, test your touch a little bit later. Brownie, I mean, I tell you what we'll do. We'll bring the studio, and we can't unfortunately see them on the thing because the screen's broken. But I mean, you can give us a hello, Natalie and Izzy, if possible.
Hey guys! Hi!
Yeah, we found them.
You can just say that. Hey guys! How are you both feeling? Nat, how are you feeling?
Luke's doing really good, isn't he? Now, hold on, we want to get some professional opinion on Luke's punditry, because obviously Izzy Christiansen is with me and she is one of the best in the game. Izzy, how are you rating Luke's punditry so far?
So far, Luke, outstanding, mate. Really good insert of stats into what you were saying. Really good memory. I thought you were clean, came in at the right time, so really good stuff. You're showing Brownie up and he's top tier.
Great memory, is he? So, no. Izzy, you're not been out late, have you? Are you sure? I tell you something from your birthday.
Yeah, I had a good birthday, thanks, Brownie.
Happy birthday, Izzy. I mean, quick one before we hand over to the studio. Brownie, we've just heard some amazing words on this man from Izzy Christiansen. You've not got your ears in, so you can't hear. You said you were outstanding. Brownie, a word on
good. He's comfortable, natural, just rolled out stats. He was here before saying, all stand here, get us organised. He said we're a bit far away from him.
We've got a middle centre-back. We could play in the back 5, I think. I think I'll be middle. How much pace have you got there?
FG could just be the back 5, couldn't he?
That's crazy.
Wow.
He's really good, that's what I mean, guys. He's a specialist. He's a specialist.
I think that's slightly on the harsh side.
I mean that if it's on a computer game. Exactly.
Listen, it's been a pleasure so far. Over to you guys in the studio. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Hopefully we'll have you in vision so you can give us a wave soon as well. But over to you guys in the studio.
FG, it's really nice to see you. I wondered if you were going to be able to peel yourself away from your streaming, obviously with EA coming out last week.
Mate, Nat, let me tell you something quietly. I had my PlayStation in the hotel last night and I've not won a game. It's been like the longest few days of my life. But I'm here. I'm here. Nice to have a break. I needed one.
We'd expect nothing less from you. Right, have a break for a minute, guys.
See
you in a minute.
Speak to you soon.
Welcome, everybody. Of course, they are Pitchside. Izzy and I are here in Manchester in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us on Matchday Live today. Oh, Izzy, I am excited. Now, the team for City today, unchanged. Now, we've already found out, thanks to the wonderful Alistair Mann, who immediately started tracking back through the stats. So this is a good one for you, Blues. The last time City were unchanged for 3 games in a row, August 2021. There was 3 games, and one of those 3 games, City beat Arsenal 5-0.
Wow.
I'm hoping that's a good...
There's an omen.
I'm hoping so.
Big week for City, though. Third game in a week. Napoli and obviously the derby last weekend. And is it unchanged? Am I allowed to say it?
Unchanged.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
it is.
Unchanged. 11. Obviously, Pep sees, he's seen how good that team is. But let's hope that stat dug out by Alistair Mann is something which will happen again today.
Oh, gosh, I very much hope so, Izzy. OK, so we know the City starting 11 for today. Let's have a look at the Arsenal 11. OK, so you can see there that there is a few changes from their Champions League game midweek. So it's Raya in net, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, and then Zubimendi, Rice, Marino, Madueke, Trossard and Gyökeres. So that is the starting 11 for Arsenal. So that is indeed a couple of changes. Leandro Trossard comes in. He got a goal and an assist in midweek over Atletico Bilbao. And obviously the big talker there in defence, William Saliba is back in the 11 after an ankle problem. Of course, perhaps there on the bench, Mosquera, who came in for him, is probably feeling a little bit hard done by because he's been a revelation for them since he came in. And Saka, as you can see there, is on the bench. So that is a change for Eze as well, who obviously started his life at Arsenal really well. But no Eze today. He is instead, Mikel Arteta has opted for Trossard. So, Izzy, when we saw that, I immediately said no Eze. What do you think is the difference then for Arsenal in bringing Trossard in as opposed to having Eze?
I think it's a compliment to City in a weird way, because I think Trossard always gives that work rate, and he's got the ability to pop up with a cheeky goal now and again, and I think he's got that sort of hunger about him that maybe Arteta sees it's the right time for Trossard to start the game, but it also gives Arteta quality off the bench, in the likes of Eze, Bukayo Saka in particular, Martinelli. They've got a good bench, and we know that this is what Arsenal have been working towards. Big squad depth. There's a lot of quality there, but I think Leandro Trossard starting is a big compliment to how Arteta's seeing the way City are playing at the moment.
And in defence as well, obviously, we know how strong Arsenal are in defence. The last 2 years in the Premier League, they've, had the best defensive record. They've conceded the least goals. And a big part of that has been the incredible centre-back pairing of Saliba and Gabriel. Yeah. Obviously, this year it got a little bit broken up due to the injury, but he's fit again and they've brought him straight back in.
Again, compliment to City that Arteta thinks and knows that he's going to need his most reliable, most sort of called upon centre-back partnership in those two there. And I think that, again, Arsenal, they look so solid defensively. You've got to give massive credit to Arteta, and obviously he is a disciple of Pep, so he's obviously taken his own philosophy, and it's built very much on the defensive side of the game. But I think the form of like Doku and Haaland, again, with the Trossard coming in, you think that the theory maybe there is he knows that Doku's going to cause problems to Timber. He needs Trossard to double up with him, which means we'll have the overload in other areas of the pitch. So I think there'll be some really interesting battles on the pitch, but Arteta's starting centre-back partnership, both of them probably handle Haaland between them.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
It takes two to handle one.
Yes. I want to look at some of those key battles, but of course you mentioned Erling Haaland there. I'm sure you all saw on social media this week the stat that, of course, this is the worst Premier League start that Erling Haaland has ever had.
He's awful, isn't he?
Oh, horrendous. Just 5 goals in 4 games. I love that stat. It did completely make me chuckle as well. The stat about Haaland as well, loving it. And if you didn't know, he has 19 goals in 20 league games that he has played in London as well. So hopefully it's a big day for him. Of course, we can see his goal here from the derby last week. Izzy, for me, Erling Haaland, obviously we continue to talk about how good he is, but this year he looks different. I think perhaps being part of the leadership team, he's really taking on board now the fact that he is one of the senior players in the team.
Yeah, and you can see here the derby, he had a bit between his teeth, didn't he? And absolutely, Manchester derby, it doesn't get much bigger. You want your number 9, you want your Erling Haaland to impact the game, and here he just ate up the Manchester United back 5. He really did. Super little finish there, lifted over, and that is such a big thing for his confidence. He doesn't need confidence, But when your striker scores in this one here, playing on the last line, no one's catching here. And then, again, I don't really know many other players in world football you'd want through on goal 1v1 with a keeper.
You were just confident it was going in the net, weren't
you just knew it was going in the back of the net, and there's the iconic celebration there, just calm, taking it all in. But the way he opens up his body here, clean as anything. Super player. And he was a man possessed in the derby last weekend. Loved it.
I'm really hoping that we're going to see that calm celebration today. Obviously, in the game last year, you had Miles Lewis-Skelly who mocked his celebration. Well, he doesn't start today, sadly, but hopefully Erling Haaland will get to see that again today. And, of course, it could be the battle of the two strikers today. We've heard all summer about, or for not even all summer, is he, for years, that all Arsenal were missing was a number 9. Well, of course, they did it. They brought in a number 9 this summer. Gyökeres, of course, was a phenomenal goal scorer in Portugal. I think if you looked at the amount of goals the two of them have scored between them in the last couple of years, it'd be ridiculous numbers. But of course, so far this year, they've both played in the 4 Premier League games. 5 goals for Haaland, 3 for Gyökeres as well. I mean, the amount of shots that Haaland is taking is unbelievable, by the way. And his touches in the box as well. But I mean, we're looking at 2 really great number 9s here today that we're going to see. Yeah,
and I think there's something about Scandinavian forwards at the moment, and obviously Arsenal, so much chat about needing a number 9, and obviously they wanted to wait until they got the right man, and they believe Gyökeres is the right man for them, and I think he's done well. I don't think he's set the world on fire in terms of his performance, but I think he's slowly starting to find his rhythm. City's back 4, I think, they're going to have the hands full regardless, but I think this man here could cause a problem. How they cut the supply line off to him, especially inside the box. Arsenal look to do sort of first-time whipped crosses in, from sort of wide areas, because they know they've got him in the box now, who's going to attack it and get across. So Diaz, Gvardiol will, they'll have to be alert. But honestly, watching those two at the Etihad last weekend, Diaz and Gvardiol, I've said it about Diaz all the time. His body shape is unbelievable in terms of how he deals with defensive situations. And I think this will be a superb test. The two centre-backs up against this man here.
Now, last time Gyökeres played us in a Champions League game, of course, he scored a hat-trick, although it is worth remembering that it was a very different back four then. It was Akanji, obviously, and Simpson Fusay, one of the academy players that had come through, with the centre-backs. Today, he's going to face, as you say, Diaz and Gvardiol, and then at the other end, Haaland facing Gabriel and Saliba. Yeah. These are going to be the key battles of the game, I think.
Yeah, they are, and how, both teams get the ball to these guys will ultimately probably determine, the 1 or 2 moments that might end up defining this game. Hopefully it is as high scoring as Michael Brown said it's going to be. Did he predict 6 goals? That means Erling Haaland and this man here might be on the score sheet, but let's hope damage limitation from this man. But you can see here, penalties, his reputation speaks for itself. The stats were there for him to come over to the Premier League, but yeah, City need to stop the supply line to him, that's key.
Yeah, and let's hope that we don't give him 2 penalty
opportunities. Yeah, absolutely not.
Today as well, there's Pep Guardiola down at the Emirates, taking it all in on a beautiful, beautiful day here. It was not yesterday, by the way, but today the weather is completely different. So other key battles on the pitch as well. You mentioned Doku already. Obviously, we saw Doku in the Napoli game and in the derby last week, producing the kind of end product that we've all been dreaming of seeing for Doku for a while. He looks extremely tricky at the minute. He's going to be up against Timber. How do you see that battle going?
I think Timber's class, I really do. I love his aggression, but Doku, he's found some rhythm. And I don't want to speak too soon with him, but he is a man in form, and he's now starting to become a typical City winger where his games are now defined by scoring or assisting. And I think that's, you look at any Pep Guardiola Man City team, in fact, any Pep Guardiola team, and you go in, the wingers always have an input in games. And Doku's output probably hasn't been, maybe where a lot of City fans would have liked it to have been, and I'm sure himself as well. He's getting into good areas. He can take anyone on his day. We've seen there those clips midweek, and then obviously against Man United last weekend, he just tore them to shreds, and he needs to do the same today.
It was glorious, wasn't it? It was glorious. I mean, we've been really possessed. You mentioned there about the output. We've been blessed to have had wingers that have had incredible outputs. I mean, when you think about Raheem Sterling and how high he still is in the goal scoring and assist charts at City, it would be nice to see Doku starting to do that regularly. But what do you think's changed for Doku in the last couple of games?
I think. Do you know what I think? People, speaking about Guardiola's style and short passing, build-up play through the thirds, and I think what we've noticed in early days, but is he's starting to go a little bit longer, a little bit more direct earlier, and I think that helps Doku because the ball's getting from A to B quicker. So Haaland is providing that sort of focal point at the top of the pitch, and Doku's sort of almost this sort of like reactive, rapid forward who just like reacts to where the ball drops, and he uses the spacing behind fullbacks and centre-backs, and that's him at his best. I think when it gets a little bit more intricate, that's probably where he's not going to be as effective. But you look at the wingers over the years, it's Mahrez, is even back to Navas, obviously Sterling, you mentioned before, even fullbacks. You know, we're going all the way back to Zabaleta and Kolarov days where the output from wide areas has always been high, and that is a big feature of Man City. And Doku is now starting to feel that rhythm, and let's hope he can continue.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I was looking at the fullbacks as well today. As we say, it's an unchanged team from the last 2 games, which we know is so rare for City. You've got to go back to August 21 for that. Well, you're going to have O'Reilly on one side, which, of course, we always adore an academy product, but he's been phenomenal in the last 2 games. So you've got O'Reilly on one side, and then you've got Kushanoff on the other side. Now, I was a big Kushanoff fan right from the start, but this season in particular, he appears to have really made this, claimed this right-back position.
Yeah. I might have caught a glimpse of the first team training before the derby, the week before, midweek, and it was literally like a glimpse of him. And I saw a run from Kushanoff in training, and I was like, wow. Like, the guy, he was going, he literally put the jets on and he went. He ran about 80 yards to go and press someone high up the pitch. And I was thinking, like, you know, you can just sort of feel it and smell it. And then he played like he did in the derby. You know, he played on the edge in the derby. There was a few moments where you thought he's going to get booked here. But I think I like that. As long as it's not on the other side of it, he's getting an early yellow and then he's playing the rest of the game, you know, under a bit of pressure. But his aggression, along with the other, you know, likes of Guardiola and Diaz, and then Nico O'Reilly also had the sort of physical output on the other side, sort of natural left footer. He's not naturally a left back. It's a bit like the way that Matheus Nunes has been used at right back towards last season. But I like it a lot. It's a very dynamic, aggressive back four, and I think it's setting a platform for City to go and be effective higher up the pitch.
I loved Kushanoff's, a lot of sliding tackles, a lot of blocks in the derby. They're those defensive moments that gets everybody cheering. I completely agree. So going to be a real variety, some real interesting key battles that will take place all over the pitch today. Of course, Izzy and I are here in the studio in Manchester, and down in London, pitchside, we have RFG, who's joined today for his debut, Luke Stanley from MCFC lads, and they are joined by Frimpong. Hi, everyone.
Hello, Natalie. Hello, Izzy. By the way, I'm loving the setup in the studio. But yeah, like you said, we are indeed joined by Frimmy and Luke as well. Frimmy, we were just talking off camera. Yeah. And it's 1-1.
It is.
This is your 3rd appearance on Matchday Live. First of all, thank you so much for being back here.
No worries, man. Listen, last time I won, and it was a big score. I ain't gonna lie. So I've come again to hopefully have another big score. But I'm glad to be here, man. I'm enjoying myself.
I'm actually questioning why we just brought him back, to be honest with you, Luke. I mean, last time he was there, we lost 5-1 on this exact ground. We've seen the Arsenal team. I mean, the first thing I want to ask you about is Leandro Trossard starting. A bit of a surprise potentially with Eze on the bench.
Not really, you know. Like, I feel like a lot of people would have thought that Trossard would be starting today, but he's got a lot of qualities that I feel like will be able to punish you guys. And everyone's kind of surprised at that selection, but I think he's got something to prove today.
Now, Luke, there's Gigio Donnarumma, who's walked out behind us with James Trafford as well, and Bettinelli as well there. I mean, Luke, I want to ask you as well, looking at that Arsenal side, who are you most fearful of?
You know what, it sounds weird, but defensively, I think you've conceded 1 goal this season.
Yeah.
Free kick against Liverpool.
Yeah, mad free kick, by the way.
Clean sheets.
Just saying it would have ended 0-0. Yeah, if it wasn't a crazy free kick.
The heart of the Arsenal success comes from those clean sheets. I mean, you brought Gyökeres in.
Yeah.
He's, scored a few goals, but ultimately I think it's that defence. There's been no clean sheets. We've got 1-1 now currently in the Sunderland against Villa game. That means that we're the last game for any chance of a clean sheet, I'm pretty sure. So there's no clean sheets across all the games. Will there be one in this one? That's maybe a question. Will City be the only team to not score? And I think the answer is no. I think we'll get a goal. We will get a goal. But it's the defence for me that's the big point.
Okay, so
you picked up our defence, but you think you're going to score today.
Okay. So let's talk then. So Gigio Donnarumma, not conceded a goal in the Manchester City shirt, was absolutely exceptional twice against Arsenal. Arsenal would 100% have gone through to the next round of the Champions League if it wasn't for him. From a Manchester City's perspective, we're delighted. He looks like a leader. He looks brilliant. From an Arsenal's perspective, Gyökeres, is he now the missing piece add to the jigsaw, so to speak? Because Arsenal have been crying out for a striker of his quality.
To be honest, and I feel like this doesn't give justice to the other players that play for us as well. We get goals from all over the pitch. It's not down to that sole striker. Yes, Gyökeres is here to help us get goals as well, but there's other people on the pitch that can punish. And listen, you guys are witness to it. Ethan scored when last time we were here. Havertz popped in with a few goals here and there. So it's not just down to Gyökeres, but we have got a lot of danger men on the field that can punish you.
I mean, I guess from our perspective as well, Luke, we're looking at an Arsenal side here which looks probably, arguably, the most complete in terms of a squad. The last time out was Zubamendi, I think, who scored twice. When you win the league, when you win the Premier League, you need goals from everywhere, and it looks like Arsenal have added that.
They're doing well, and like I said, I don't know how many you got in the league. Is it nine or so in the league? One goal conceded from a crazy free kick, worldly goal. We can't take anything away from the goal, but ultimately it's a goal that almost any team would have conceded. It's a Soboslai free kick against Liverpool. You've not conceded from open play, so let's hope we can break that today.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We will definitely be trying to break that. Erling Haaland likes to score at the Emirates. Let's hope he continues. Let's take
at the Emirates as well.
Let's take a look as well at Noni Madueke. I mean, an interesting signing from an Arsenal perspective, because there was a lot of talk as to whether he was the right one. I mean, he's shown for Arsenal already, and especially for England as well, that he is the type of player to get the fans off their seat. He's the type of player to cause the fullback a lot of carnage. He's up against Nico O'Reilly from Manchester City's academy today. Is he going to be key to your attacks?
Oh, definitely. And like you said before, like a lot of people were, doubting him before he came, and I just knew he was a quality player, man. You could just see his time at Chelsea. He did a lot of good things there, and it's someone that we want. There's someone in the team that we want. And listen, down that right-hand side, or even on the left, you don't know which side he's going to be on. I think it's to the right side, actually, he's going to be a danger, and you can see that in the few games that he has played for us. So I'm excited. I can't wait, and hopefully, he can do the business.
For me, he always has a poker face on, by the way. He never gives away whether he's nervous or not. And I think, Luke, you're sort of the same. I'm going to ask you both, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to start with you, of course, because you're our guest in this segment.
Yeah.
How do you see the game going? What do you think the score's going to be?
I think this is a tough one, because I'm not going to lie, before last year, I could see the cracks in Man City, and I could see the sort of team that were coming here. It's a new season, right at the beginning. Yes, you have lost 2 games, but it's still Man City at the end of the day. So I think it's going to be a 3-1 to the Arsenal. Yeah, I think we're going to score 3 goals.
You've raised your eyebrows straight away, Luke.
Again, he's bigged up our team. Donnarumma, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. They couldn't get many past him, against PSG in the Champions League. So I think big GG in goal. I think he might concede 1. I'm going to go 1-1. I think 1-1. I think it's a tough place to come. Neither team wants to lose, and often when you get these games right at the start of the season like it is, they end up as a draw, which is what we nearly saw with your trip to Anfield. It was obviously a late goal, 1-0 to Liverpool, but I think neither team wants to lose this game, and usually when that's the case, it ends up as a draw, so I'm going to go 1-1.
Would you be happy with a draw from me?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I want to win, man. Listen, we're here to win games. That's what we want to do. And if we can't beat teams like Man City as well, listen, then we can't be saying that we want to challenge for titles and all that stuff. These are the teams that we have to beat, and hopefully we can do it today.
Well, listen, I would wish you luck, but I would be lying. So it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much. All the best with the rest of the stuff you're doing here on Matchday. You're super busy. Luke, thank you as well. Let's go back to our studio.
FG, ask your friend Frimmy what that means when he said teams like City.
Interesting question from the studio, and it's directed at you, Frimmy.
What's going on?
Natalie's not very happy.
Oh, what's that?
So she wants to know, based on what you said, teams like City. We have to be beating teams like City.
Why? Do you not think you're a lot of good team?
He made a good recovery. You know what? He made a good recovery. He made a good recovery. You said you need to be beating teams like City.
Yeah, why?
And then you came back and said, because we want to win the league. And I think it was maybe.
I'm just saying, if you don't think you're a good team, then by all means.
We know.
But I'm picking you up.
I'll shake you hand on that one.
You know what I mean?
Thank you very much.
It's a good save.
Quick one as well. If we beat you, will you be back for full time with us?
Huh?
If City win, will you be back?
You will not be seeing me, mate. Maybe next year. Oh, you might see me at Etihad.
Well, I gave it a go, didn't I? I gave it a go. Thank you so much, for I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, FG. Thanks,
we will
Luke.
see you this time next year. Yeah, fingers crossed.
He looks doing a good job of defending us there as well, by the way.
He's right up for it. He's like the two centre-backs. He's well up for it.
He is, isn't he?
He's like Kushanov.
Yes.
There you go. Luke Izzy Christiansen says you are the Kushanov of Matchday Live, and I think that's a serious compliment. So, of course, it is 4:30pm kickoff today in the UK in the Premier League. Now, of course, the WSL is well and truly back as well. We are 3 games now into the WSL. City had a big win on Friday night versus Spurs, a Spurs team that prior to that game hadn't conceded any goals. So we're going to have a little chat now about the WSL. You can see there from the table on your screen there, of course, City lost the first game of the season against Chelsea. So we are sitting there in 4th at the minute. That's not updated.
I think that's updated. 3 games in, 6 points.
Yeah, that's not updated, gents. We know that.
Sorry.
Yeah. 3 game. Oh no, we're on 6 points, but we're on 3 games. Yeah, we're on it. I don't know if they were... Izzy, do you know what? I think they were testing us there. I think
that's all right. We're sharp, though, Nat. We're sharp.
Yeah,
we're okay.
We're sharp.
Yeah.
Right, let's have a look so far at our season.
The Women's Super League is back. Carpenter up against Greenwood. Gets the ball across and finds Phoebe Jones, who finds the back of the net. And now she bursts into the penalty area. It's back across to the American. She misses it, but Micah Hamano is there. In by Greenwood. And it's in. Manchester City have a goal back. They've been knocking on the door. And they've got one back in this game now. Alex Greenwood with the delivery in.
There are a lot of positives to take from tonight, and we'll review on Sunday and work towards Brighton.
Everything for us is about to go and get a first victory on Friday, and also the good performance and building one thing from last week, but also take the next step.
Hageman gets it on a right foot curling effort, carried away by Keating. It'll come to Kirby, and Brighton have the goal their efforts deserve. Wahhabi level with the corner of the box, lifts it up. There's Shaw's diving header. There's Manchester City's equaliser. She's off the mark and running for the season, Buddy Shaw now. Goes in field though. Here's Fagino. Carolyn, back to Fagino. Can she get the ball on her feet? It might come to Hasegawa! The midfield maestro doing what matters up front. New contract keeps her at the club till 2029, and that is just perhaps why. First home game of the season for Manchester City. First win of the season for Manchester City.
A lot of things that is building from this game we can use to our confidence to the next game.
Fagino trying to poke it on through. Fagino will get it back from Shaw, and then Fagino strikes it brilliantly. And the ball in, flicked on and over the line, surely. Referee confirms Vivian Miedemar. She burns one Spurs player off. Carolyn to finish it herself. It takes a deflection. The header's there from Kirsten Kasperite. Fancies a pace. Wouldn't you too as Carolyn pulls it back. There's the shot. There is the goal. It's a debut goal for Grace Clinton. Too much of the ball to Holt. Holt strikes it. Clinton stops for now. Fires it from range. It might come to Laura Coombs. It is 5. 8 goals this season. 8 different scorers. And it rounds off a fantastic night in the capital.
Yes, indeed, a fantastic night in the capital. Right, we've quickly updated the table like magic. This is as it stands because Manchester United are currently playing Arsenal. That is half-time, and that is 0-0 as it stands. So this is an as-it-stands table. City currently sitting in 4th, of course, on the 6 points after that loss to Chelsea in the opening game, which I still cannot believe we played them at Chelsea in the opening game. Got to get over that, Izzy. These things stick with me. So that is the table as it stands. In terms of, we'll have a general chat about the WSL in a minute, Izzy, but in terms of City so far from what you've seen, obviously there's a lot of change in the summer, new manager. What have you thought of what you've seen so far from us?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting. Really refreshing sort of approach from Andre and his staff. I think Nikki Ajosi, who came into the club last season, worked with Gareth Taylor as an assistant coach. I think he's been superb in terms of keeping the girls sort of ticking until the new management came in. I went on the pre-season tour with them. I say it was a tour. We went to La Manga, had a week in the sun, did a bit of football training.
Lovely.
It was great. Played a bit of paddle. No, but I could really sort of see, how Andre was kind of, wanting to bring fresh ideas into the team, and he's spoken about he doesn't want to change too much. These players are, since being at the club, deeply ingrained with the Manchester City philosophy. He's not coming in and changing the philosophy. He's just tweaking a few things, and I think it's really exciting for City fans. I think once they start gathering momentum, title charges on, it has to be, and they've got so much quality in that team. I think the fans are going to love the talent. The likes of Carolyn, I know she's a fan favourite. Iman Bene, that came over from, she's Swiss international, played at the Euros. She's going to be so exciting, she's still so young. And obviously Grace Linton, player, oh my days. She is going to be world class, and she will get world class at this football club. She was on the pitch on Friday night, got a goal. So really exciting times for them, but just sort of trying to pick up points while becoming, really familiar with how Andre wants his team to play. But I think he's been brilliant since he's come in, really refreshing, and hopefully long may it continue these wins.
Yes, and long may it continue that we have a fully fit squad as well. I mean, fingers crossed everything that Lauren Hemp's okay after going off on Friday. But of course, we had so many injuries last year that if we can keep a fully fit squad, I would really, really like that. You mentioned as well the new players, but of course, some of the players, the ones you say that had been here already that were deeply ingrained. I mean, for me, Yui Hasegawa, I don't know how many other words we can use to describe her, but obviously she signs a new contract, which is such a huge deal for everybody. The fans adore her. And is it possible that she's getting better?
Her role's changing a little bit. Like when you're speaking about Man City players, I go through a little, David Silva, you run out of superlatives when you speak about him. Kevin De Bruyne, you run out of superlatives. Erling Haaland, Yui Hasegawa, it's the same sort of, situation. These top class footballers, and Hasegawa is one of them, and she is a deep line role. She's like the sort of Rodri role, deep midfield, linking play, starting attacks, but she's actually playing a bit higher, and that's why we saw the goal, against Brighton, the winning goal, which obviously got the 3 points on the board, but playing a bit higher, because she has got that quality in the final third. So Andre's, he's tweaking a few bits. I mean, she might end up playing deeper, further on through the season, but having that unpredictability as well makes other teams guess as well, and she is probably one of the first names on the team sheet.
Got to be, yes. All we're blessed now that we have a few of those, which is lovely.
Loads.
I'm really excited. I'm excited about the season ahead for City. I'm excited about the season as well for the WSL. Been keeping, as I imagine everybody has, an eye on the London City Lionesses. It's been probably a bit of a more difficult start to the season than they'd hoped, but I think it's so exciting for the league to have them and to have somebody in Michelle Kang that's so willing to invest in women's sport. Yeah,
it's superb. It's a different model. Obviously, no sort of revenue stream from a men's club. They're their own independent business, football club, however you want to, call them. But Michelle Kang, she's got a multi-club ownership, Washington Spirit and Olympique Lyonnais over in France. So she's got 3 top clubs under her belt, and she's building, this fresh project with London City Lionesses. They were promoted from WSL 2 last season. They got their first win of the season on Friday night against Everton, which is a massive win for them. And let's see if they can kickstart. But they've brought in some top tier players, so it'd be really interesting to see WSL. Well, watch them sort of how they're going to do throughout the season, and WSL fans, I think they'll be very interested in watching their progress.
And we can watch them up close and personal because it's City's next WSL game is here next Sunday against the London City Lionesses. Me that, though, on Wednesday night, we have, it still makes me laugh, the Subway Cup. Of course, it's the League Cup. So that game is live on City Plus. Makes me hungry.
It's hilarious, yeah.
Whenever
so
we see
many puns,
yes.
That game sandwiched in between 2 WSL.
Yes, Izzy!
There we go.
Well, you've got 3 days to think of some more for Wednesday.
Well, I did see it on a billboard in town the other day. Then that Subway now doing baked potatoes, so there might be something in that. We could dig into some fillings, couldn't we?
We've got to. Yeah. We'll have loads for you because on Wednesday we are going to be showing the full game live on City Plus. City take on Everton in the first game of this season's Subway Cup. Now, outside, of course, of London City Lionesses, the WSL as a whole, we already saw on the table. It's already shaping up to have the same top 4 as last year. Of course, we don't have the Champions League this year, whereas we saw that Manchester United have qualified and they're in the Champions League, along with Arsenal and with Chelsea. Just below them, we were seeing Brighton and Spurs. Of course, we had Brighton here, and it was a tough game. City really had to dig in, especially in that second half. What are you expecting from the WSL this year? Do you think Brighton are going to be the team that might challenge the top 4?
They might do. Yeah, they're working away. We know Brighton's model. You know, in the men's game as well, they're always quality. You know, they've got good coaches. You know, good systems, good club. So they might challenge, but we know how difficult it is to break in. I mean, you look at the spending of Arsenal and Chelsea in particular, and also London City Lionesses. You know, the spending is huge. But the challenge is, can you break into that? And I think, you look at Man United, they're now playing in Europe in the Champions League. Have they got the squad to deal with that, as well as playing WSL fixtures, you know, off the back of trips in Europe? So I did see the fixtures. I think Man United play PSG at home on either a Wednesday or Thursday night, and then they play us the Sunday. So that's a good time for us to be playing, you know, a potential rival to get into that top 3. So little things like that with us not having Champions League, you know, obviously we want to be in that competition. But it might end up helping our league form, you know, just to get back to where this club wants to be, which is at the top of the league.
Absolutely. And we also just wanted to take an opportunity to say as well that we send all of our love and all of our best regards to the family of Matt Beard, who sadly passed away this weekend. We'd both worked with him. I know you knew him very well, and it's a real loss to... He was such a champion of women's football.
Yeah, he was, you know, the most passionate, difficult coach, you know, as a player playing up against his teams. You know, he was so good on the touchline, setting his teams up to be aggressive, to win, and I think that was reflected in his personality, and it took the whole world of football by surprise last night when that news broke. And obviously I reiterate the love and thinking of the fact that his family are probably in a very horrible state right now.
Absolutely. So we send all of our love, of course, to his family and to his friends. So back on to today's game. So we managed to catch up in the week with 2 of our incredible midfielders. They are setting their sights on laying down an early marker today.
Yeah, we're going with the mentality to win in there. And I don't care what happened the last season. I don't care. We have the level to go there and show again our best shape. And yeah, we know they're an unbelievable team. They reform the team every single year with incredible signings, and every day they potentially better and better, like every single team. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's the beginning of the season, but it will be a good message for them if we go there and win in their home. So this is, I think, our mentality. But before we have this important game against Napoli that we want to focus.
Well, yeah, they're obviously a strong team, one of the contenders. Beginning of the season, 3 points, but yeah, it's an important game because it's not only 3 points that you can win, it's 3 points that you can potentially take from a Premier League contender.
Yeah, so here we are on Matchday Live. My and Brownie are both joined by Emmanuel Petit. Now, you said, what am I doing here? But I mean, it's
sorry, guys.
There's a very, very good reason for it. Obviously, a massive game today.
I know.
Let's go straight into it and talk about Arsenal, the start to the season. I think they've conceded 1 goal in the Premier League and the Champions League so far.
On the free kick, yeah.
And you must be...
and they lost the game. So when you look at the schedule of the game since the start of the season, I think they have probably the hardest one, you know, in the Premier League. They have to play against every single team that qualified for the European competition this season. So far, I think having only lost 1 game and on the free kick, this is good news. And on top of it, I'm not really convinced with Arsenal display from the start of the season. I think they are quite far away from the DNA of the club, the way they can do all together on the pitch. So they still have a big margin in front of them. So it's very positive in terms of results.
Do you think they can... So you're saying that you don't think they're there yet, or you think they're getting closer with regards to the DNA?
Well, not yet, because of the new players. I think it takes time, you know. To set up everything, to get the link between the players, the understanding in terms of movement on the pitch as well. So it doesn't come like this, you know, easily. So I can understand that I get frustrated sometimes, you know, because Arsenal win games, you know. They have the best defense, among best attacks as well in the Premier League. That's why I'm very confident, because the margin they have in front of them, I think, to come back with their DNA.
Are you surprised that there's a bit of criticism? Do you know, like the expectation levels?
Not really.
Because is this Arsenal that they have to do it this season? Because that surprises me a little bit.
No,
that you
I'm not surprised.
Mikel has to produce it, has to get a title, has to get a trophy. Or is that what it is? Is that where we are?
We're in the top clubs, you know. It's the same in City. You know, look what happened last season with Pep Guardiola and the Citizen. They were so far away from the level, and they've been criticized. And Pep Guardiola, you know, I've read so many newspapers, former players saying he has to be sacked. Honestly, it transformed the Premier League. He made a big revolution here, so I was very surprised about that. But at the end of the day, I'm not that surprised because this is the way it is in our world. You know, the critics come very easily.
You never leave that leadership.
This is why we are paid so well, you know.
This man's definitely still got that leadership, and I can't begin to imagine what you're like in the stands. Let's talk about those new signings as well here at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Who are you most excited to see in a little bit more, and how do you think they're all going to
Well, I'm expecting a lot from Eze, and I'm still wondering if he can bring what I hope and everybody's up here in Arsenal, you know, because he was amazing for Crystal Palace for years. He was tremendous. So there is a big competition, so he reached the next step, you know. It's, you know, the competition to earn your place, you know, on the first 11 is very high here in this kind of club. So you could see that, you know, the last games, you know, Martinelli and Trossard has been efficient. So
is he in the right position, though? Do you know, on that left-hand side, you're the midfielder. Would you want him on the ball to slide that pass into him, or how do you be? There's been a lot of talk. He's come to the club, but is he almost not on the correct area?
Well, I mean, if you're a top player,
he should be able to adapt. That's
of
what
course.
you're going to say, right? So he should be able to adapt. Should be able to come in.
You know, I can understand sometimes. You know. When you put that on the table, you know, I can see that's coming. But at the end of the day, when you are top players and you have big ambition and you play for big clubs, it doesn't matter where you play.
Oh, he's stuck then, isn't he? Just wherever. Well, Madueke, is he in the right position?
You can put him in the midfield as well. It will be brilliant too. So
yeah.
Just imagine Messi. Messi is something different word, but can you think he can play different position that's on the right-hand side? I think so.
Let's talk about our new signing, a Frenchman as well, Ryan Cherky. I mean, there's been so much excitement about him. We want to ask you on your opinion.
Well, frustration because I know him since a long time in France with Lyon. I think I think he's got so much qualities that can fit perfectly with what Pep Guardiola wants. He's still to adapt himself, you know, mentally and physically on the demands in the Premier League, and especially what Pep is asking on the pitch as well. He had kind of freedom with Lyon because he was the masterclass, you know, player, you know, over there. It's not the same. It's not the same with Manchester City, you know, and he has to prove, you know, his quality on the pitch, but he has to avoid as well injuries. For me, you cannot, you know, compete. You know, you cannot be good for your clubs if you have to deal with injuries. It's impossible.
Do you know when you talk about like now these two clubs, the last few seasons, it's got a little bit edgy.
Yeah.
The manager going from City to here, from Arsenal to Arsenal, and then ultimately the players that little bit with Erling on the pitch. There's a little bit of spice. You were used to so much rivalry with Manchester United.
Yes.
How do you see this rivalry? Do you see it as being similar?
Well, I think City has been the target for years, for many reasons. Liverpool was probably the first one to compete with them. Then Arsenal came, and then Liverpool came again. And now the target is Liverpool. So I think winning the Premier League is very difficult. What City has done so far for the last 7-8 years is amazing, honestly. In terms of football, their capacity of repeating always the same things, you know, all together. This is probably the most difficult things you can have, you know, in a team. The link, the mentality of the team spirit, things like this, very difficult to get. And on top of it, if you can bring as well a DNA on the pitch that everybody wants to repeat, to copy, it's an inspiration for everyone. So
you
not
took,
even for
you
the
took
players.
it in your stride, though. You were nice and calm.
When you look at the football right now, look at the
football
football right now.
When you're walking out, what's it like, though? When you step and you're in the middle and it's that rivalry, that game day, how do you know, like, how did you...
You just want to show them you're better than them. I mean, it doesn't matter if they are good, they are playing very good. You just want, if you want to win the title, you have to beat them. Simple as that.
And I think that's
there is not only one way to win games.
I think that's the perfect way to end. We could speak to you all day, by the way. Absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are out of time now. We're going to head to the studio. Quickly, 5-1 here last year to Arsenal. What's the score going to be today?
I'm sorry to say that, guys, but I think Gunner's going to win today. It won't be an easy game. Honestly, it won't be easy.
He's had a late night.
Foden is back.
I think he's had a late night.
Foden is back at his best. Honestly, I'm such a big fan of him. And the link he can have as well with Haaland could be something very difficult to cope with today. But the Gunners at the Emirates are very difficult to beat. So I would predict 2-1 for Gunners.
Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us. Absolutely amazing insight. Emmanuel Petit joining us on Matchday Live.
Ooh, a World Cup winner on Matchday Live. That was Emmanuel Petit. He was speaking to Michael Brown and FG. That was a little bit earlier, of course, as you may be wondering why the ground was so empty. Obviously, that was a little bit earlier on there. So we are less than half an hour away now before today's 4:30 p.m. kickoff in the Premier League. City taking on Arsenal, where Izzy and I are very much hoping that Erling Haaland will have a big, big game today. Plonk himself in the middle of the pitch, do his calm thing and tell them all to stay humble. Fingers crossed. And, of course, Erling Haaland is having a phenomenal season, not only for City, but also for his home country of Norway, who are currently on track to hopefully qualify for next year's World Cup. So we thought this would be a lovely opportunity to catch up with the official supporters club of Norway. So, Ollie, are you there? Yay!
Yes, I am.
How are you?
Good afternoon, Nat. I'm very excited, as always, before a big game.
It's lovely to see. I'm joined here with Izzy Christiansen as well. I'm loving the flag in the background. You sound like you've got a Manchester twang as well, just like Erling does.
I wouldn't go that far, but let's just say I've been to Manchester a few times.
So when did you start supporting City?
I first noticed Åge Hareide, the first Norwegian at City in '93. I watched the English Premier League every Saturday at 3, and didn't take much notice of him. Later on, I got a shirt from my parents. Why they chose City, I don't know, but maybe that helped me determine that would be my team. I think that was in '85, and a bit later on, I became a fan of Imre Banana, or Imre Varadi, as his real name is, and never looked back.
Wow, I love that. And I believe that you were one, and I was also there, of the few thousand, although it would be 20,000 now with the amount of people that claim they were there. But you were at York away.
Yes, and for those who might question my claim, I've got the ticket stub to prove it.
You've got the proof. Now, I have a picture of me at York, so I also have the proof. So, I mean, you are going back some ways. So, as a Norwegian Manchester City fan, obviously when Alfie played for us, that must have been exciting. But when his son and one of the greatest footballers in the world signed for City, a Norwegian, I mean, that must have been the most exciting day ever you've had as a City fan.
Obviously, it was a big moment when his dad signed for us, because I'm actually from his hometown, and but when Erling signed, it was even more special, because Erling has worked, he has created a very big name for himself. So to have two representatives from my hometown at City is incredible.
Oh, Ollie, good to see you. Great shirt. So Arsenal missing their captain, Martin Odegaard, today, who's obviously Norwegian. But obviously him and Haaland link up for the Norwegian national team. Like Nat said earlier, it looks like the Norway team are on course to qualify for the World Cup. How would that sort of, I mean, obviously that's going to be exciting if they do. But how about that link up in a Norway shirt? How would that go down in Norway?
I can't give you any insightful analysis and clever comments, but I can tell you that I can tell that Norwegian, they love not only ski, they absolutely love football. And the whole country will be turned upside down if we manage to qualify for the World Championships next year. The last big championship was the Euro in Belgium and Netherlands in 2000, and the last World Cup was in 98. So the Norwegians would be absolutely delighted if we could manage that again. And it looks like we might have a chance this side.
We would be absolutely delighted for you. Erling Haaland deserves to play on the world's biggest stage, so we have everything crossed for you. And also, before we let you go, I just wanted to say to you that I have got myself a Scandinavian True Blue fanzine that I think your branch produces. One of your members came over when I hosted a night with Erling Haaland and gave it me. And I have kept it, despite the fact that I absolutely cannot read it. But I just wanted to show you, I kept it. Send our love back to the supporters club.
Thank you very much, Nat.
Right, give us a quick prediction, please, for the game.
5-1.
I love it. Great stuff.
We love that. Because, of course,
I did not say to which team, though.
I knew the one that you meant. Erling scored 5 against Moldova. He can score 5 against Arsenal. That would be just lovely. Send our love to everybody. Lovely to see you. Bye. That was Ollie from the Norwegian Supporters Club. I hope that comes true so much, Izzy. OK, we're going to go back over now to the Emirates, where it's about 15 minutes to go before kick-off. FG, the Norwegian Supporters Club, predicting a 5-1 victory to City. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'd be very happy with a 5-1 victory for City and 5 goals for Erling Haaland, maybe. I'm not sure whether that's going to happen, though. Brownie, thoughts?
Listen, as I said, no one commit today. I'll take any win whatsoever, FG. I think that's what's important today, because, you know, when you go into these big games, when you realise the personnel up against you, the home form that Arsenal have, the firepower, the squad depth, this is a big... Is it a season decider? It's heading that way, this type of momentum that you can gain from this.
Yeah, the atmosphere is building here in the Emirates Stadium, in particular in the away section, which is just behind Brownie and Luke. Luke, we've seen our players, they've done their final preparations. What did you notice being here for the first time, Pitchside? Is there anything that stood out?
Being this close to the players is mad, but they're proper locked in. We saw Pep before the game as well, locked in. He was circling round, ready to go. It's a big game.
Did he say hi? Did he come over and wish you well? It's great. You're doing a great job, Pitchside.
I mean, you know, he's got to do his job. We know Pep, what he's like. He's locked in, he's on game mode, and we want to see a win. We want to see a win. We don't want to lose the game, like you said. I think the bigger impact from this game will be the knock-on momentum rather than the points themselves. If we can get a win over the line, the impacts that'll have going forward will be, you know, invaluable.
FT, do you know, for us, we're always now going, right, the players, the tempo, the warm-up should just be behind us. What's it like as a fan right now on kick-off? So it's your turn. What are you thinking as you're walking in now?
I'd normally just be coming through that turnstile over there, heading to my seat, and I'll be, you know, heading over there in a minute. But it's nervous. But as soon as you get in and you can see the pitch, you can see that surface. It's like nothing else, to be honest. It's a completely unique feeling to, you know, the guys watching at home. Some of them might have experienced it before, some of them not. But to just say, when you're getting that away and you're just ready to go, you feel like you want to be on the pitch yourself. But ultimately, we can just sit and watch, can't we?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, I'm not on the pitch. I think every Man City fan who's watching the show is probably thankful that I'm not on the pitch as well. One man who could be on the pitch still to this day, because he's still got it, is you, Mr. Michael Brown. Look, hard-hitting midfielder, tackling midfielder.
The other week, you wouldn't have said that.
You wouldn't, yeah?
I was heavily carried by a young Sean Wright Phillips.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Sean was fantastic as well. But, I mean, you've also scored in North London recently, haven't you? You scored in a game at North London.
Let's go. It's more about this today. Midfield area, it's key, isn't it, today? Declan Rice, Zubimendi. I think so important that you try and stop them at source wherever possible. So, Phil Foden, how's he going to take it? Come on, Phil. He's the one today who can make the difference in the middle.
Quick score prediction before we head back.
You know, I was thinking score draw 1-1 region, I've said, but you know what? Just seeing that there, I'm going to edge it to 2-1 City.
2-1 City.
I'm going to edge it to 2-1 City.
And that is a hat-trick of 2-1 Cities here at Pitchside. Let's head over to the studio. Let's get your predictions. Nat, Izzy, how are you feeling?
Oh, FG, thank you so much. And did someone let Luke know that we only invite guests back when they predict a win? Because he quickly changed there, thankfully. But yeah, Izzy, what are you going for?
We only let guests back when they predict a win, so you are welcome.
He's just letting Luke. Oh, he knows. He's acknowledged it now. I'm going 3-1 City.
Oh, yeah, Izzy's going 3-1. I'm going to go 2-1 FG, but just a win today would be everything, wouldn't it? So thank you, gents. I don't know if those sprinklers are getting near you, by the way, but I'm going to watch out for you. Go quickly before you get drenched.
Right, all right, we'll move out the way quickly because the sprinklers are coming. Goodbye, everyone. I'm going to get wet.
Bye, guys. Bye. Although, do you know what? I don't know why I did that. We should have let them stand there and get drenched.
That would have been funny. That would have been, especially Brownie.
Especially Brownie.
He looked great, by the way. He had a great sort of navy blazer on. Very smart for the big game. And by the way, he is a top co-commentator. My God, listening to him yesterday, he's a good guy.
Oh, we like to big everybody up on this show. You can see there the City players coming out to warm up today. If you are just joining us, a big welcome to you. The starting 11 is on your screen, but as a little reminder for you, it is the same 11 from the Napoli game and the Derby victory last week. The first time since 2021, August 21, that City have held the same starting 11 for 3 games in a row. So it is Donnarumma, Kushinov, Diaz, Vardiol, Lewis, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, who is of course captain, Reinders, Foden, Doku and Haaland. And Josko Vardiol today, can you believe this, makes his 100th City appearance. I just feel, Izzy, that is the fastest 100 games ever.
Yeah, he's class, absolute class. So he's played left back, he's played centre back, you know, he's had to vary his role a bit, but he looks really at home now in a City shirt. And like you say there, it's crept up on it. 100 games in a City shirt already. And today might be one of the biggest ones because his sort of tenacity in that back four is going to be needed to limit what Arsenal are going to try and create in the final third.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if he can keep Gyökeres quiet today. And you're right, it's been a real journey for him. Obviously, when he came, he came as a centre-back, you know, playing centre-back from the club he'd come from, but also for Croatia as well, and doing that so successfully. And then due to the, obviously, positional problems that we had, he was pushed out wide. We're only really sort of seeing him consistently now, this last couple of games, as a centre-back.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to do that. You have to change your role, you know, whatever the manager wants. And we know Pep's got the ability and capacity to tweak things, and whether that's by, you know, push to do that in terms of injuries or whether it's by design, he's so clever in that. But honestly, his mentality, Guardiola's mentality, and the way his sort of partnership is starting to blossom with Diaz, and obviously John Stones to come back in as well, and so many options. So, yeah, big game needed for the back four tonight.
So we can see the warm-ups there taking place. We are about 10 minutes away now from kickoff. Of course, you will get your full match commentary with Alistair Mann and Michael Brown today, the only place to get your commentary. There's Doku, of course, we're going to need another big game from him today. So, Izzy, as we get closer and closer to kickoff today, how are you feeling? What sort of game are you expecting?
Well, I think, you know, the guys, FG and Luke and Brownie alluded to it before, like these games when they're so tight, the margins are so slim. We saw Arsenal go to Anfield a couple of weekends ago and it was tight. It looked like it was going to be a 0-0, and then obviously a little bit of a moment. So it's those moments you've got to, you know, you've got to limit the damage in that sense, but also you've got to take a little bit of a risk and go for it, because I think sometimes in the past, these games, these top teams going head-to-head, you know, battling for league titles, Brownie's right, this could be a season definer. And I know it sounds a bit premature to say that, but I think that these are the games where I'd love to see City take a bit of a risk, because I think the pressure's on Arsenal, because, you know, all the noise, all the signings, their squad depth, and, you know, missing out on trophies. There is pressure on them to win trophies. And I think City come into this game, obviously we know off the back of the Napoli win, the back of the Manchester Derby win. And the only thing I would say is, it's tough having 2 days rest. So obviously Napoli Thursday night here at the Etihad, and then travelling down to London. It's tough, and Arsenal played on Tuesday night, so they've had an extra 2 days rest. So they should be fresher, but Pep's kept the same 11. So he trusts his team, which is totally fine. You know, the lads are top level athletes, and they'll be fine. But 3 games in a week takes its toll. But Pep obviously sees this 11, you know, keeping it consistent, ready to do the business, and I'd love to see a couple of risks taken and go for the 3 points.
Oh, I completely agree. For me, it feels like this game is going to really give us a benchmark of where we are currently, because of course the Napoli game was a great win, and it could have been a very frustrating 0-0. You know, they could have, Napoli, you know, did try and just sit back, you know, took off Kevin De Bruyne, brought on a defender obviously when they'd gone down to 10 men. Obviously in the derby as well, it's a huge victory in the derby, but we know that Manchester United are not the team that they used to be. So when we look behind that, and you remember the Spurs and the Brighton results, I feel like this game is really going to give us an idea of where we truly are. Yeah,
and City form, we know it's like winning machines. You know, the league title winning teams under Guardiola, they just keep on winning, and you've got to make it a habit. And you know, we can't deny that of late in the last 12 months, that habit has been broken a little bit. You know, we're starting to get inconsistent results, but you'd like to think a win today at Arsenal would sort of get City over that little hurdle and go, right, 3 wins on the bounce against 3 good teams, hard games. Now they've got to start putting it together, but they need to get the 3 points today, I think.
Yeah, and you're right, because the pressure is on Arsenal, because it's almost a season now where there is no excuses for them. They've spent the money that the fans were so calling for. They've bought the top striker. They've also, you know, bought the you know, when you look at Madueke and Eze, they've spent the money and they've invested. They've come second for the last 3 years. This is the season for me with Arsenal where there is no excuses anymore.
Exactly that, and obviously you look at Liverpool and go, are they even going to drop points this season? They're scraping through, and that's what good teams do. And Arsenal haven't really had that factor about them in the last couple of years. But Arteta, I heard him speaking earlier in the week, he's right, like, you have to almost be perfect to win now, because City, obviously the points tally that we know that we can knock up over the course of a season is high. Liverpool did it last season. Arsenal can do it and still not win. So you almost have to be perfect, which makes these games now, like, not stale anymore, not nil-nillers. It's like, you've got to go for it. You've absolutely got to go for it. And yeah, it's going to be tough, but I think City have got the depth, they've got the quality, and I think if the likes of Doku and Haaland, and again, that guy, Phil Foden, my word, he's hitting some form. If they can get on the ball and start running the show, I think City can cause damage.
And of course, Rodri picked up the injury that kept him out all last year in the game this time of year against Arsenal last year. I feel like we're not quite seeing the Rodri, of course, the best player in the world, Ballon d'Or Rodri. We're not quite seeing Rodri at the levels that he was, but every game we're seeing him back, he's getting better and better. We're going to need him as close to that form, that top form as we can today.
Spot on. And I thought in the first half, you know, he's the Ballon d'Or winner. You know, he's probably the best holding midfielder in the world. I was looking at his game in the first half against Man United, and he'd given the ball away, I think, more in one half than I've seen him do in a whole career in his City shirt, which says a lot. It's a compliment in a weird way. But yeah, no, I think him ticking, holding that midfield together, you know, it knits it together with Reinders. You know, he's got the legs, he's got the athleticism, and Foden's got the craft, you know, to get on the half turn and feed the likes of Haaland. Let's hope that midfield keeps ticking the way we know it can.
And I'm very much enjoying Bernardo Silva in the last couple of games. I feel like we've not even mentioned him. Perhaps it's because we've got a standard that's so high for him. But I'm really enjoying seeing him back again, the work rate, and playing out wide as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because you look at the 11 and go, you probably think Foden's wide and Bernardo's central. But I think Foden's playing in his best role, and Bernardo, I don't know, the fans probably saw it the other day at the Etihad, especially the ones who were at the Etihad at the derby. The atmosphere was outstanding, but a lot of it was created by Bernardo Silva's running off the ball. I mean, the guy's like a fine wine. He just runs and runs and runs. And he's setting a precedent of this aggression within this City side. He's being a proper leader, but in a different way. And we all know when Bernardo gets on the ball inside the box, he can cause damage as well.
Oh, and we know what he's like when he gets something in his teeth as well. And I feel like that's the day for it. So you can see there is Donnarumma. He's ready. Look at that face. Oh, my goodness. And, oh, look at the concentration on Rodri.
Oh, look at the height difference between Bernardo and it's like how I'd feel near him. It's like me near you here now. Stood up. Why we stood up?
That is so true. There's a full head above them. OK, so you can get the full match commentary with Alistair Mann and Michael Brown. So you can download the Manchester City app. I'm sure you've already got it. I'm sure you've already got it right now. But you'll get the commentary on there. We'll be back at half-time. And, of course, full-time, where hopefully we are celebrating a big win at the Emirates. So, Blues, enjoy the game.
Vardiol tries the shot, scores the goal! And what a time to do it! Vardiol scores! To the near post, and it's in! It's a brilliant goal!
He's really rare in what he provides.
Vardiol in the penalty area, scores for City!
It's the defender we're talking about. Maybe a chance for Foster, good recovery by Josip Gordillo.
Gvardiol shooting position. Oh, how many times? How many times has Joško Gvardiol done something like that? And Gvardiol equalises. He's becoming a goal scorer.
Oh, terrific tackle that was.
It's a header in from Gvardiol. Joško Gvardiol.
Could have signed the best wingers in the planet.
Pep just said that he thinks he might have signed the best winger in Europe when he signed you.
Well, I don't know, he knows better than me. As soon as I step on the pitch, I just want to be the best version of myself.
The Emirates Stadium used to be one in which the Blues flourished. They recorded 7 wins in a row here between 2018 and 2023. However, after losing here in successive seasons, this has now become a much more problematic venue. And with the Gunners Liverpool's closest challengers last season and so far this, it is they and not City who are the favourites this afternoon. That said, it would be both bold and foolish to write off City's chances. And after a perfect start to September with 2 impressive victories, the Blues arrive here full of confidence and self-belief. This, though, is always a heavyweight clash, and there are surely going to be trading some crushing and fearful blows before the outcome is decided. And such has been the intense rivalry which has built up here over the years that maybe it could be feisty too. Well, like City, the hosts were in Champions League action in midweek, albeit they arrive with an extra 2 days rest. They are showing 2 changes to the side